Hey everybody, it's Monday, and I just finished making our meal plan, and so I wanted to hop on, and you can probably hear my kids crying in the bathtub. I wanted to hop on and share with you sort of how I do it because everybody does it differently, and for a while I sort of felt like there was a right way to do it, the way my coach was doing it, and it just wasn't totally working for me. So I think the big thing that I want to share with you is that do what works for you. Um, I've tried it a few different ways, and this is the one that is sort of like the place where I return and the place where I have the most success. So, where I start, and for me, thinking about cost of what our groceries cost is a really big thing. So, the place where I start, and I don't know if this will be backwards in the video, but I'll post a picture of this. But the place where I start is to list the foods like um, meats primarily that I have in the freezer. So, I'll buy things in bulk when they're on sale and then sort of section them off into like the portions that we would use and then freeze them. And so I'll look through the freezer to figure out what do we have that I don't need to buy to be able to think about meals for this week. So this week we had things like ground turkey, Italian sausage, roast, like a beef roast, some beef strips, and a couple other things. And so then what I did from there is I write that list down just so I have it in my mind. And then I go through and I think about big sort of categories for our week. So I think about like, okay, what do I want to have for lunch for the week? What are the kids going to have for lunch for the week? What will Mark have for lunch for the week? Um, and since I'm home this week, it'll be a little bit different than it would be if I was working. Um, so I make a list with a few things there. I'm going to try that egg roll in a bowl recipe that I posted earlier. We'll probably also have some eggs because I really love eggs with avocado and toast. So we'll probably have that. And peanut butter and jelly is a staple here, regardless of how clean or perfect it is for you. It works for us, and the kids love it, and it's easy to take with us wherever we go. So PB&J is something we do. Um, for breakfast, I almost always have my shake, but I also need something else in the morning. The kids will have cereal when they first get up, but then we'll need something else probably like an hour after that. So I like to do an oatmeal bake, and I can post a recipe for that too. Last week we did it with blueberries. This week I have a bunch of Granny Smith apples, so I think I'm going to use that in the bake. Then I think about morning snacks. This week we'll do sort of yogurt or fruit. That's pretty common. Afternoon snacks, I usually do some kind of cheese or nuts paired with some sort of fresh vegetable. And that works well for me and for both kids. So that's great. I'm going to try, this is my first week like planning for this because this is my downfall. I'm going to try planning like a sort of like a dessert, but more like something that Chelsea's gonna eat a whole bunch of in the night after dinner, and when everything else, when I finally sit down and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to eat cookies and candy and chocolate. So instead, I'm gonna make these carrot cake cookie bites that I saw like a really awesome recipe for, and we'll see if that goes over any better for me, or if I'm still eating a whole bunch of M&Ms. We'll see. So then after I do sort of all those pieces, I look at the week ahead and I look to see like what nights we have things planned with other people, what nights Mark won't be home for dinner or I won't be home for dinner, or we're going to have other people over to our place for dinner or whatever. And I sort of mark those days off. So on the side here, you'll see like my little code for the days of the week. And then, so those all start blank. And then what I do is I think about sort of how many meals that would need to be, because the sort of the portions that I make tend to either be two full dinners for us, or like dinner and then a couple lunches throughout the week, or something. But usually what we end up with is probably once a week we end up with a day where we have leftovers, and Max cracks me up that he loves it, but he likes it because he gets to pick different things that he's had all week to sort of make his own plate for dinner. So I don't know how that would go over. It took me a really long time to get Mark to eat any leftovers, but slowly but surely we'll get there. So anyway, I think about that, and so I was looking at this and thought, okay, including tonight, we probably need 5, maybe 6 meals. So then I started thinking about what things I wanted. Max claims that Nora loves ginger pork, so we're gonna have some ginger pork this week since he'll be home to make it happen. We're gonna do bean soup, a roast because we have that roast in the freezer, some meatball soup because it uses Italian sausage that we have in the freezer, um, tacos with ground turkey, and then pizza. I'm going to try out that pizza recipe that I posted since when I asked Max what he wanted ginger pork, pizza, and chili. And since we just had chili and I really don't want to make more chili, I'll give him the pizza. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, and then from there, what I do is I just go down the list and make sure that I have the foods for each of those sort of recipes. So you'll see that I checked it off because I've gone through and looked through our kitchen and wrote down the things that I need to make sure we have here that we don't already have. And then what I'll do, the last step of what I'll do is I take this and I use an app called Wunderlist where you can share like a grocery list or whatever kind of list you want to have with someone else on the same account. So I'll go through and I'll plug in all of our, like all of these things into the grocery list that Mark and I have shared. And then you can kind of move things around. So I usually do that. And then at some point, like put them in the order that they are in the store, just because it'll save me time when I'm going through the store to know, oh, okay, I need to stop here and get these things. Yeah. Okay. So that's that. That's our plan for the week. We'll see how it goes. Normally this doesn't take me a ton of time, and I usually do this and then head to the grocery store and get all that shopping done. For whatever reason, since I'm on vacation, I'm not doing the best job of like really pushing myself to get everything done. So we had what it took to make tacos for dinner tonight. So we had turkey tacos tonight, and I'll go grocery shopping tomorrow. But my fridge is pretty bare at this point, so I definitely have to go tomorrow. All right. That's that. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me how it's going. Share with me your plans for how you food plan and prep and think about all this other stuff. Because I know that this is one of those things that I put off forever, but when I do it, I feel so on top of it. I feel like I know we're not wasting money buying things that are going to go bad. I feel totally on top of what options I can offer the kids for snacks at different points in the day and in the week. I know I'm able to think about sort of how I plan it out, and I know that a number of these meals are going to use spinach, and so I sort of clump those together. That way the spinach doesn't have the chance to go bad, and I can buy it sort of right before we need it. But yeah, what are your tips? How do you do it? What do you want to know? Maybe I've tried it before, maybe I haven't. Maybe I'll do a little research for you and find an answer. All right, have a great night. Thanks for all your posts. You're really pumping me up. I'm getting excited. And if you haven't worked out yet, get to it.